Good morning. Welcome to News for Hearing Impaired. I'm Anil Thomas. With me, Manisha, this morning. First up, the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says effort now should be to stop the spread of COVID-19 in rural areas. In his fifth interaction with chief ministers of states and union territories, Prime Minister says India must leverage the opportunities that arise in the post-COVID era and must plan for the new world reality. Prime Minister Modi says there is a twofold challenge before the country today to reduce the transmission rate of the disease and to increase public activity gradually while adhering to all the guidelines. Says new way of life would be on the principle of Jan se lekar jak tak, from an individual to the whole of humanity. Indian Railways to begin passenger train services on 15 select routes from today. 15 pair of special trains to start plying in addition to Shramik Special Trains. Ticket for these trains can only be booked online through IRCTC website. Migrant workers from different parts of the country continue to reach their homes through Shramik Express trains. A total of 513 Shramik Special Trains have been run since the 1st of May, taking over 6 lakh passengers to their homes. Vande Bharat mission to bring home Indians stranded abroad continues for the 6th day today. 4 flights arrive in different parts of the country and many more to arrive today from various locations. Indian Navy's Samudra Setu bringing Indians from the Maldives also continues. Recovery rate from corona cases in India increases to 31.15%. Number of active cases stand at 44,029 with 2,206 deaths. 20,916 patients have been cured and discharged. Global COVID-19 confirmed cases cross 41,71,000 with over 2,85,000 deaths reported world over. United States worst hit with over 80,000 deaths, followed by United Kingdom, Italy and Spain. And now for the stories in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday interacted with chief ministers of states and union territories through video conferencing. This was the 5th such meeting of the Prime Minister with chief ministers of all states. The meeting, which lasted 6 hours, saw discussions on various aspects related to COVID-19 in the country, such as measures to prevent the spread of COVID-19, phasing out of lockdown and speeding up of economic activity. Identifying that the world has fundamentally changed post-COVID-19, Prime Minister said that we must all plan for a new world reality and expressed hope that with collective determination, India will be able to win its fight against COVID-19. Well, let's take a look at the main points which the Prime Minister put forward in this interaction. In his opening remarks, the Prime Minister said, we now have reasonably clear indication as to the geographical spread of the pandemic in India, including the worst affected areas. Prime Minister said that this understanding of the spread of COVID-19 will help the country in having a focused fight against it. He added that we have a twofold challenge to reduce the transmission rate of the disease and to increase public activity gradually while adhering to all the guidelines. Prime Minister further said now the effort should be to stop the spread of COVID-19 to rural areas. Prime Minister said we must understand that the world has fundamentally changed post-COVID-19 and this would entail significant changes in how we function. He said the new way of life would be on the principle of Jan se lekar jak tak, from an individual to the whole of humanity. He added that should constantly remember that we still do not find a vaccine or a solution. The biggest weapon with us to the fight against this virus is social distancing. He requested all the chief ministers for specific feedback on the lockdown. He asked them to share by 15th May a broad strategy on how they would want to deal with the lockdown regime in their particular states. He added that he wants states to make a blueprint on how to deal with various nuances during and after the gradual easing of the lockdown. Prime Minister said, we will need an all-encompassing approach to deal with various challenges that will arise before us. With the onset of monsoon, there will be proliferation of many non-COVID-19 cases for which we must prepare and strengthen our medical and health systems. Referring to the resumption of train services, the Prime Minister said this is needed to rev up the economic activity, but said that all the routes will not be resumed. Prime Minister said only a limited number of trains would ply. The Prime Minister further added that he continues to feel optimistic when not even a single state sounded dependent, and that this collective determination will make India win in its fight against COVID-19. Prime Minister said that the post-COVID-19 era also brings opportunities that India must leverage. The Prime Minister said the suggestions made by the states for a roadmap on economy have been given due consideration. The Chief Ministers appreciated the leadership of Prime Minister in the country's fight against COVID-19 and also highlighted the need to strengthen the medical and health infrastructure in the country. Several of them pointed out that with the return of migrants, there is a need to concentrate on strict implementation of the social distancing guidelines. The Chief Ministers in their suggestions on economy have sought support to MSMEs, infrastructure projects like power, easing of interest rates on loans and assured market access to the agricultural produce. Prime Minister thanked the Chief Ministers for their proactive role in the country's fight against COVID-19. Moving on, Indian Railways will begin passenger train services on 15 select routes from today. The 15 pair of special trains will start plying in addition to the Shramik Special Trains. Other regular passenger services, including all mail, express, passenger and suburban services, shall remain cancelled until further notice. These special trains, which have been started presently, will have only air-conditioned classes, first, second and third AC. The fare structure for the special train shall be applicable for the regular timetable Rajdhani trains. Only online e-ticketing will be done through IRCTC website or through mobile app. Only confirmed e-tickets shall be booked, and the current booking, Tatkal and premium Tatkal booking shall not be permitted. No catering charges shall be included in the fare. However, dry, ready-to-eat food and bottled water shall be provided on demand inside the trains on payment basis. All passengers shall be compulsorily screened, and only asymptomatic passengers are allowed to enter or board the train. Passengers travelling by these special services will observe the following precautions. Only passengers with confirmed tickets shall be allowed to enter the railway station. All passengers shall be wearing face covers, masks at the entry and during travel. The passengers shall reach the station at least 90 minutes in advance to help thermal screening at the station. Only passengers who are found asymptomatic will be permitted to travel. Passengers shall observe social distancing both at the stations and on trains. On arrival at their destination, the travelling passengers will have to adhere to such health protocols as are prescribed by the destination state and union territories. All passengers are advised to download and use the Arogya Setu app. No linen, blankets and curtains shall be provided inside the train. Passengers are advised to travel light. As per the MHA guidelines, the movement of the passengers as well as the driver of the vehicle transporting the passengers through and fro the railway station shall be allowed on the basis of the confirmed e-ticket. Migrant workers from different parts of the country continue to reach their homes through Shramik Express trains. A total of 513 Shramik Special Trains have been run since the 1st of May, taking over 6 lakh passengers to their homes. Indian citizens continue to return home from abroad. Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri in a tweet informed on day 5 of Mission Vande Bharat yesterday that 1,667 people returned on 8 flights from San Francisco, London, Manila, Dubai, Kuala Lumpur, Abu Dhabi and Dhaka. He hailed Air India Express, Ministry of External Affairs and the Indian missions abroad for their great effort. Vande Bharat mission to bring home Indians stranded abroad continues for the 6th day today. 4 flights arrived in different parts of the country. Air India flight from Bahrain reached Kozhikode today. Another Air India flight reached Kochi carrying 177 stranded Indians from Dubai, while 107 Indian passengers from Dhaka arrived in Mumbai yesterday evening. 180 Indians stranded in Malaysia arrived in Chennai last night. 5 flights are scheduled from the Gulf countries on day 6 of the Vande Bharat mission. It will bring more than 880 distressed and stranded citizens back to the country. There are 2 flights scheduled from Dubai, one to Kannur and the other to Mangalore. The flight to Mangalore has approximately 40 pregnant women, more than 25 cases of medical emergencies, at least 3 dozen distressed workers, stranded tourists and some students as passengers. From Muscat, 180 people are likely to fly back to Chennai. The Daman-Kochi flight will see more than 160 people coming back, while the Doha-Tiruvananthapuram special flight will bring back approximately 180 people. The Doha flight had to be called off on Sunday due to technical reasons and it has been rescheduled for today. Meanwhile, Indian Navy's Samudra Setu bringing Indians from the Maldives also continues. As per Ministry of Health and Family Welfare's latest update on the COVID-19 cases in the country, the total number of confirmed cases in India is 67,152, out of which 44,029 cases are active, while 20,916 people have recovered from the illness. That takes the recovery rate to 31.15%. 2,206 people have lost their lives. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar on Monday held a meeting with his counterparts from the United States, Australia, Brazil, Japan, Israel and South Korea on the novel COVID-19 pandemic. Moving to neighboring Nepal, where the number of COVID-19 cases has jumped to 134 after 24 more persons tested positive. This is the highest number of COVID-19 cases reported in a single day in the Himalayan nation. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, 16 persons from Kapilavastu district, 6 from Rupandehi district and 1 each from Bardia and Saptari districts diagnosed with COVID-19. All patients are undergoing treatment in different hospitals and their condition is reported to be normal. There are 101 active cases in the Himalayan nation, while 33 patients have recovered so far. At present, 12,701 people are under quarantine and 153 persons are kept in isolation across the country. As countries begin to exit from lockdowns amidst COVID-19 scare, the World Health Organization has expressed concerns about a second wave of infections. WHO Director General Tedros said that lifting restrictions was complex and difficult, and now that the slow, steady lifting of lockdowns was the key. He added that before any country begins to lift restrictions, it should have the epidemic under control, ensure that its health systems are able to cope with a potential resurgence, and have necessary testing, tracing and isolating infrastructure in place. Well, now looking at the world numbers, global COVID-19 confirmed cases crossed the 41,71,000 mark, with over 2,85,000 deaths reported world over. United States was the worst hit with over 80,000 deaths, followed by United Kingdom, Italy and Spain. US President Donald Trump said he is not in favor of the United States reopening negotiations with China on phase 1 of a trade deal which the two countries agreed on at the beginning of the year. US President Trump said that the US administration is watching China closely for its alleged efforts to hack and steal US vaccine research for the novel coronavirus. The virus has so far claimed more than 80,350 lives, while the total tally of cases has crossed 13,46,720 in the United States of America. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson said that Britain will need to think about how its economy can adapt if a vaccine for the novel coronavirus does not emerge quickly. He added that employers would have to adhere to regulations and enforcing social distancing measures with regular inspections to make sure they were doing so. The death toll from COVID-19 in United Kingdom has surpassed 32,140 as of now, while the number of cases of infections are more than 2,24,330. UAE witnessed a hike in the coronavirus cases 2 weeks after the government has relaxed restrictions allowing malls and restaurants to reopen. The number of coronavirus cases in the 6 Gulf Arab states have surpassed 1 lakh, while UAE has more than 18,870 cases with the death toll exceeding 200. In another news, at least 19 soldiers have been killed and 15 injured when one Iranian warship accidentally struck another with a missile during an exercise. The incident took place during training in the Gulf of Oman. The frigate Jamaran fired at a training target released by a support ship, the Konarak. However, the support ship stayed too close to the target and was hit. Argentina's government has extended negotiations over a $65 billion debt restructuring proposal until May 22nd. The decision has a set stage for tense last-ditch talks as the South American nation races to avoid default. The new deadline, which comes after an initial cutoff passed without the support needed for a comprehensive deal, means the offer will expire the same day Argentina could trigger a default of over $500 million interest payment. As the stay at home is going to expire in New York on May 15th, the governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, has said that he expected several regions in the state outside of New York City that they would be able to begin a phased reopening. Certain business and recreational activities, including tennis, landscaping and gardening and drive-in theaters, to open on May 15th. Some regions are ready to go today. That's what the governor said. They just need to get some logistical pieces in order by the end of the week. Governor Cuomo further added that the reopenings would be coordinated across the state and that hospitalizations and other metrics would be watched closely. If thresholds are exceeded, restrictions could be put back into place, he added. Moving to Europe and Spain, in Sweden, I beg your pardon, a couple has opened a COVID-19 safe table for one pop-up restaurant. Table for one pop-up restaurant functions with one chair and one table and no waiters. The food is also being prepared by the couple and brought to the table in a basket from the kitchen window via a pulley system. The idea behind the pop-up restaurant is to serve food without having any physical contact. Table for one pop-up restaurant has been fully booked for May, with some sittings available for June and July and planned to continue throughout the summer. The couple also have special arrangements for the rainy season with weather protection. Well, that's all we have time for, but remember to stay indoors, stay safe and be positive during this particular period. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.